Here we are, brand new week, brand new house. I know, it looks a little bit smaller than our old apartment, but that is because this is now our dedicated office room as opposed to recording out of our guest bedroom. Don't worry though, we're going to be decorating the background. Now, before we go ahead and jump into this week's Weekly Byte of MMORPG news, I would like to let you all know that we are going to be live streaming just a few hours from when this video goes live. If you've ever been curious about what various different MMOs look and play like in 2020, then go ahead and join us over at twitch.tv/MMObyte. Come on over and join us if you, want to make like a guest appearance in a video or just want to join us on this journey. We stream there every Tuesday, every Saturday, and every Sunday at 3 p.m. EST. Otherwise, we have another week filled with MMORPG news for all of you, and there is a ton of news that we need to cover. So let's go right ahead and jump into this week's Weekly Byte of MMORPG news. For those of you that are unaware, I actually just uploaded a video on Fractured yesterday, coincidentally enough. That covered the last alpha test that took place, but today we're here to talk about their newest alpha test, which is going to largely focus on player cities. The alpha test began on July 16th and allows for players to log in and begin constructing their very own city. Or at least that's the case in theory. In reality, you're required to have 5 players total to begin construction on a small city, so if you're playing alone or you can't find anyone to group up with and create with, then you're probably going to be at a bit of a loss. Now, I know some of you guys actually expected this to happen, but there are quite a few of you that didn't see this coming at all. New World, the upcoming MMORPG from Amazon Game Studios, has been delayed yet again. However, this time it has been delayed until spring 2021. Yeah, the middle of next year. And trust me, from what I've seen of the game, from what a lot of content creators and actual players have said about the game, if it launches in its current form, there is absolutely no way that the game will succeed. It'll follow their other title, Crucible, and die before even having the chance for players to enjoy it. According to Amazon, players like the game. However, in my opinion, that's a little bit of a disingenuous claim to make. Some players like the game would be much more accurate and would make them sound less as though they're lying to build false hype for the game. Regardless, this is a good move. Like, I personally believe that this is the correct move to take, and I hope that the hype for this game is not dead by the time the game launches in 2021 or, God forbid, 2022. For those of you that are still playing Astellia Online, or for those of you on the fence about trying it, the game is going to be getting a brand new update taking players to Avalon. Well, I mean, yes to Avalon, but an entirely reworked iteration of Avalon. Yeah, the zone itself has been completely overhauled and is going to offer brand new rewards in the form of weapons and armor along with Astel companions. So I feel as though this is probably the perfect opportunity to test the game out if you haven't already, or to come back and try out the new content. This is another upcoming release, although this might be one of the more popular ones. I actually did a video on this just the other day as well, but Dual Universe is an upcoming sci-fi MMORPG that takes place in a large sandbox universe, allowing you to not only explore, but to also conquer entire planets and solar systems. The MMO is going to be launching surprisingly as a pay-to-play subscription-based MMO on August 27th, as opposed to free-to-play or buy-to-play, which means that they have fairly high hopes for how well the game is going to do. Because let's be honest here, there are only 2 MMORPGs right now that are active, that are very well populated, that have a pay-to-play business model. Alpha packs are currently available for players to purchase in advance if you want to gain access to the game ahead of its launch. Otherwise, we're gonna need to wait until next month. MiHoYo announced that as a thank you for the large amount of support they've received for the game, literally millions of interested players, they're going to be holding an open beta event sometime in autumn 2020. Yeah, this is autumn within China, which means around approximately October through November. However, they've yet to set an exact date for the beta test. Nevertheless, it is exciting to know that an open beta is going to take place. What we're not aware of yet is whether or not the beta test will allow players from other regions to take part in it, and if the beta test is not going to be IP blocked, then will it also be available in players' native language? According to an official Facebook post made by Masangsoft, who have up until this point been pretty silent in terms of updates over the last 2 years, they have 2 brand new trailers detailing the progress made on the game, and interestingly enough, some players are not at all happy. Additions to the game include being able to remotely complete your quests, animation upgrades, overhauls, a brand new talent system to make classes feel more unique and original, and much more. Suffice it to say though, the less this looks like a faithful RaiderZ game, the less people are actually interested in playing it. Okay, I've never actually heard of Life Beyond, but now that I have, I am gonna have to go into a video on it, as the studio behind the development of the game, Darewise, have secured over $3 million in funding to continue development of the MMO. Life Beyond is a cooperative survival MMO. I don't know how you can be a cooperative game and an MMO at the same time, since cooperative normally means that there are multiple players playing cooperatively, and an MMO means massively multiplayer, so they are kind of contradictory terms. But you know what, I don't know. Either way, I know we have so many of these either in development right now or launching and shutting down within months of their launch due to how bad they ultimately end up being. But this time, you know what? This time might be different. This time it might work out. Who knows? Regardless, we're gonna have to keep an eye on this and see where it ends up going. I guess your best bet here is to keep an eye out for my dedicated video on it. Mrs. Sticks and I have been streaming Lost Ark every week on Twitch. If you're interested in seeing how the game looks, then I recommend joining us. But in Lost Ark news, the game just launched into closed beta within Japan, and I believe that is the final region slated for release before they begin thinking globally, so that is promising news. Additionally, the closed beta is up to date with the South Korean version of the game, adding in features that were going to be included in their latest update, including but not limited to the removal of the gender lock present in-game. This is something that has proven quite controversial, not only with regards to Lost Ark, but to MMOs in general. And I say MMOs in general, but at the same time, I mean, you know, more or less South Korean MMOs in general. And they're also going to be introducing player housing islands, finally. You might remember Pagan Online. I actually did several videos on it, and honestly, it was not a bad game. It was advertised as a kind of an MMO title, when in reality it was a small-scale multiplayer RPG. Regardless of the label, Pagan Online is in the process of becoming Pagan Offline, as the game is going to be converted into a single-player RPG with the entire campaign being taken offline. The team behind the game went on to state that supporting multiplayer servers for Pagan Online is no longer sustainable. Obviously, meaning that the game is making in the negatives in terms of income, and as such they need to cut all corners possible. Not that this will really do much to save the game either way, as it has had little in the way of updates, or heck, even positive reviews left in recent memory. In an interesting, if not slightly cruel turn of fate, it turns out that the brand new Hashashin class that is coming to Black Desert is going to be releasing onto PS4 and Xbox One before the PC release. Yeah, you guys actually heard that correctly. The console ports of Black Desert Online are going to be getting the brand new upcoming class ahead of their PC brethren, and that is due to the fact that the console players had the release of the Guardian class delayed for, I don't know, whatever reason it was delayed for. This is their solution, as much as it has anchored the PC player base. Also, interesting note here, the new class name Hashashin actually means assassin. That's pretty cool, right? That's today's lesson, guys. You're welcome. If you're one of the few players waiting on Legends of Aria to leave early access, then you are in luck, as despite the repeated delays, the negative reviews, and the overall negative reception of the game, it has finally left early access. And players are as upset with the final result of the game as ever, with many a player claiming that they prefer the game when it was still Shards Online. Shards Online was what Legends of Aria was originally kickstarted as back in 2014. Yeah, that long ago. If Steam reviews are anything to go off of, players did not receive the game very well this time round, which has likely all but sealed the fate of the game before it's even had the opportunity to take off. Okay, I know, relax. This is not an MMO, don't worry, I am well aware. But if this remaster, this is a remaster, right? An overhaul, a remaster? I don't know, same thing. If this remaster actually does well, we very well might see an MMO made set within the Kingdoms of Amalur world. Yeah, originally they had intended on making a Kingdoms of Amalur MMO, but opted to leave it as a single player title, much to the disappointment of the player base. Regardless, with the remaster comes a brand new Fatesworn expansion for the game and a brand new title. Oh, like, I'm sorry guys, I can't even like say this with a straight face, so I guess be glad you're not looking at me, looking at the webcam of me right now, because the title, they are, I cannot make this up, but they are titling it Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. Yeah. They couldn't have possibly thought of a stupider name if they had tried. I don't play DC Universe Online nearly as much as I should, maybe a couple times per year, if that. However, with their brand new update coming next month, it looks like we're moving to Themyscira, a brand new massive open world zone, which is exciting as there's going to be large scale events for players to take part in, including raid level bosses to fight together with groups of other players. Their goal with this update is to attempt to provide more meaning behind open world content, to try and get players outside of instances and out seeing and working with other players for a greater goal. This is something that I truly think other MMOs should be doing. Get your players out in the world, actively participating in activities that require group coordination and participation. A brand new blog post was made on the official Guild Wars 2 website titled Looking Ahead to Summer Days and Nights, where ArenaNet went on to detail what players have to look forward to over the course of the year. The next episode of the Icebrood Saga will be arriving at the end of this month on July 28th. Like the previous episode though, this will feature no voice acting as a precaution for the voice actors. In August, we'll have the Festival of the Four Winds, followed by Guild Wars 2's 8-year anniversary celebration. Yeah, the game is going to officially be 8 years old. And then in September, we'll have access to a brand new Fractal, closing out the third quarter of 2020. Exciting news for everyone playing right now. Honestly, I'm curious what the fourth quarter is gonna look like. Last week, ZeniMax announced ESO's brand new DLC, Stonethorn. The DLC is going to be launching with several new group dungeons, brand new gear, performance optimizations, and will continue the storyline that has been going on, taking us all the way to Skyrim. The launch date for the DLC specifically will be August 24th on PC and September 1st for consoles. Most noteworthy for this DLC, at least for me, is the addition of brand new two-person mounts. Does ESO even have two-person mounts, or is this the first introduction of it? Regardless, Mrs. Sticks and I are actually streaming The Elder Scrolls Online over on Twitch, so you're more than welcome to come on over and join us for our journey. And finally, I don't think I have ever actually included a Mabinogi segment in an MMORPG news video before, but here we are talking about their brand new update regarding pets. I'm honestly not sure why this was really even deemed necessary, but having a pet follow you around, a pet that also aids you in combat, is always a cool addition to the game, right? I'm not sure if this will really even do anything in terms of bringing in new interest to the game, but I will actually have a video up for this sometime next week with my thoughts on it. And that is it. That is all of the MMO related news that has been brought to my attention over the course of the last 2 weeks. If you think that there was anything I missed, you can go ahead and leave a comment in the description below. You can message me on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, via DMs, on Discord. Literally anywhere you can find me, you can go ahead and message me. Just make sure to include a link to the article discussing whatever news you're talking about, and I will go ahead and read through it and include it if applicable. Anyway guys, that is it for me. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it. Yeah, all hard work's gonna